Will Satan be indwelling the Antichrist, or will he be outside the Antichrist? The answer to that is Satan will most likely be outside of the Antichrist. Now, how can we come to understand this? 2 Thessalonians 2:9 says that the Antichrist will perform many signs and power based upon the working of Satan. Now, the working of Satan is able to give certain people power and authority. And we know that when the Antichrist comes on the scene, there is most certainly going to be a lot of evil happening. Satan is going to have to do many other things. He can't just merely dwell in someone while everything else is taking place, because when the Antichrist is presented on the scene, we know Paul said, do not be deceived, that day will not come. The second coming of Christ or the rapture, depending upon what your viewpoint is, or maybe that's one and the same for you, whatever that is to you theologically, because there's different perspectives, we know that that day will not come until the Antichrist goes to the temple and sits on the throne and basically declares himself to be God. And so when this happens, things are going to escalate very rapidly, and Satan is going to be needing to lead many other people. He can't just dwell in someone for that time. And even when he dwelled in Judas, it was for but a little bit of time to do what was needed. So he's going to give the Antichrist special power, right? There are Satanists out there who worship Satan, who take that very much to the extreme and do horrific things in order to receive power from Satan. And so when the Antichrist comes on the scene, he will be most certainly used by Satan. And Satan might even indwell in him for but a little time. But Satan needs to make sure, he's worried about getting all his troops and everything together, and his legion of demons, and making sure everyone's coming into play. Because the moment that happens, things are going to really begin to escalate. So when the Antichrist comes on the scene, will Satan be indwelling in him, or will Satan still be outside him doing other things? Satan might be in him for but a time, but the majority of the Antichrist's life, and especially during that time period, the Antichrist Satan will not be indwelling in him, because Satan is focused on doing many other things during that time, because we know that the word is truth. Satan, as A.W. Tozer said, is a better theologian than all of us, but a devil still. And so Satan knows that when that time happens and is coming, he knows his time is extremely short. And so may we just continue to pray that all would not be part of the spirit of lawlessness that is in our day and age, but may we just pray that all would come to know God by believing that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior and repenting of their sins.